So today I'm making something different. I'm making wall planters. I'm a serial collector of plants and I've started to hang plants on my fence. Not the most elegant solution. I'm really looking forward to some pots that are actually made for hanging. So there's a thrown component and then a hand building component. Each thrown pot actually becomes two planters. So let's start with the throwing. I'm using 2.5 kilos of clay for the pot. You need approximately another kilo for the back. I'm using a robust terracotta. I'm going to once fire. That means I'll take it up to the final temperature in the first firing. So I'm centering my clay, push down with an angled hand, and then push the clay back up into a tall cone. Keep the clay in a cone shape while you're centering, and you'll avoid that volcano with a dip in the middle that makes it really difficult to center all of the clay. Now that I feel that all the clay is centered, I can push the top down. As I push the clay down, I'm making sure not to push the clay off center. Now I'm ready to push down into the center of the clay. And then I'm opening the clay out with a curved base. Remember to use a sponge to remove any excess water and compress the base of your pot. So now I'm ready to bring up the walls. So pull the walls up without shaping. Get the height first and then shape the pot. And now I'm ready to shape. I'm using my flexible rib and I'm really rounding the base of the pot. So I can see from the shape that my pot's actually a little tall. So I'm going to do something that I actually try to avoid. I'm going to trim the top of my pot. A wire cutter, and you only do this if your rim is sturdy enough. So one of the problems with a cut rim is that your rim can look a little mechanical. So I'm going to use two methods to show you how to round the rim back down. I'm using the web between my fingers, but I could also use a piece of chamois. I actually like using the web between my fingers for this because, well, I can't always find a chamois. So I'm ready to cut my pot off the wheel and set it aside to dry. The trimming is really simple. I'm just trimming to a rounded base so the outside curve matches the inside of the pot. So we're done, and this works quite well as a plant pot. At this point, you could also add 3 holes to make a hanging pot. But let's go on with the wall planters. I start by cutting my pot into 2, straight down the middle. And now I need a slab of clay for the back. So I'm rolling my slab of clay out to about 7 mil. So I take my half pot and I trace around the base. I'm also going to cut the hole for hanging at this point. I'm just using a hole cutter. You could also use a drinking straw, especially a metal one, any other tool that will make a hole. And now I'm just scoring around the cut edge of the pot. Add a little slip. Now I cut around the outline of the pot. And at this point, I'll also trace around the little template I've made for the back and then cut. So now I score around the outer edge of the base. So now I can take the top and that I've added some slip to, place it onto the bottom and give it a bit of a jiggle. I've added a coil to the inside to reinforce the join, and now I'm just going to smooth that coil to both the top and bottom. So now it's time to blend the top and bottom on the outside. So I'm just using a tool here to smooth some of the clay from the bottom into the top. I'm working my way all the way around the base. And now I'm using a scraper just to smooth the join. So now I just want to sponge and smooth the surface. So the thing about joining terracotta in this way is that I really want to dry my piece very slowly. So once my pieces are fully dried, I'll load them into the kiln and fire to an earthenware temperature. So here we are. I'm ready to plant into my wall planters and grow. Making pots for plants is a favourite, so I'll certainly make more of these. And I can always use more hanging plants. As always, thanks for watching, and don't miss my large bowl video here.